So again, thank you all very much for your time this afternoon for the INVO update webinar for pharmacies and hospitals. Next slide, please, Nicola. So our agenda for today, it's pretty quick. We hope to take no more than 20-25 minutes. Nicola Foley, who is our operations executive, is going to bring you through an update on the Windsor framework and also to look at some current issues that we know are relevant and ongoing in dispensaries at the moment. She'll be followed by our colleague Paul Byrne, who's our data scientist. And what Paul is going to do is to bring you through NMVS alerts, which is our alert management system, and just talk through how, with your help, we can share information to manage alerts and get alerts closed, more importantly. And finally, he'll just give an overview of supports available from INVO through our website and email, telephone, and that type of thing. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Nicola. Thanks, Nicola.
Thanks, Colin. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. So the first thing I'll talk about is the Windsor framework update. So the FMD impact of Brexit. As you all know, the UK left the EU in January 2020, but EU law continued to apply in the UK during a transition period. FMD was discontinued in Great Britain, but remained mandatory in Northern Ireland. And on the 1st of January this year, it no longer applied. So what does this mean? Packs placed on the UK market must be labelled UK only. Pack data from these UK packs won't be uploaded to the ENVS, and every UK single market pack with a 2D barcode that is scanned in Ireland from the 1st of January this year will generate an exception or an alert. So what's the advice to pharmacies and hospitals on how to avoid these FMD issues? So since the 1st of January, as I said, the only way to avoid an alert or exception with UK packs is not to scan them. Now, if you do inadvertently scan a pack, you'll get an amber or red alert or exception message on your FMD software, and you can still supply the pack unless you have overriding concerns about the authenticity of the pack, or you believe it's been interfered with, or if the pack is expired. Your FMD software may not be able to flag that the pack is expired because of the UK system, so you need to obviously double check that yourself. Always check the anti-tamper device if it's present, and if you have a reason to believe the pack has been tampered with, you can report this to the HPRA as a product quality defect via their online reporting system, and obviously do not supply the pack in such circumstances. So alert management for ULM packs. Now, Paul will go through this in more detail when he talks about the scanning and alert management. However, on a high level overview, I just wanted to kind of give you an update on how we're managing them internally. IMVO maintains a list of ULM batches internally, and we update this list when we receive information on a batch through email or via NMBS alerts. And that can come from a pharmacy, a wholesaler, a manufacturer, but the majority is we are notified through NMBS alerts by pharmacies. Each business day, we close alerts raised on batches from this list, and currently the batches that are generating the vast majority of alerts are diazepam and furosemide products. INVO also closes these alerts based on calls and emails we receive from pharmacists who asks how they should manage the alerts. And sometimes if it's a new batch and we're not sure if it is UK only, we'll put a comment in NMVS alerts, and it would be really helpful if you could respond to that to confirm whether or not it is a UK only pack. And just a reminder of the reference materials we sent out regarding the Windsor framework in the last year or so. You can re-download this through our website, or you can send us an email if you would like to receive these materials again. So just in terms of some current issues we're noticing at the moment, we're seing an increase in alerts on the Comirnaty vaccine. A reminder that these packs that contain the yellow sticker have already been decommissioned by the National Cold Chain Service. So you'll see this on the pack here. So they don't need to be scanned for FMD. But if you do accidentally scan them, popping in a comment on NMBS alerts would be helpful. And they can still be dispensed despite the alert, providing you've no overriding concerns regarding their authenticity. And the next one, just in terms of borrowings, another root cause for a lot of our alerts are borrowings. We do understand this occurs to meet patient needs. And a reminder, if you are the lending pharmacy, you don't need to decommission the pack before you lend it. And if you are the borrowing pharmacy, you can check the status of the pack by using the verify mode on your scanner. Just remember to move back to supply mode when you are decommissioning. And then if you do inadvertently scan a pack that has already been decommissioned, if you popped a comment into NMBS alerts confirming that you've borrowed it, that again would be really helpful for us. And then in terms of FMD software, some issues we see can be in terms of the incorrect scanning mode on your software. So verification means you can check the status of a pack. So a medicine may be scanned to verify it is in the IMBS and its status, or marked as expired or decommissioned as dispensed, recalled, locked, exported, stolen, etc. So you can check the status if you go into verification mode. And then you must be in decommission mode to decommission a pack as supplied or destroyed. And finally, in terms of your FMD software updates, it is important that your FMD software is on the latest version. So please run any available updates in a timely manner when you see them. And if you're in any doubt, you can contact your FMD software provider directly. So I'll pass you over to my colleague Paul now. Thanks very much for listening.
Sure. Thanks, Nicola. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys about alert management and how we're actually going to be communicating through ideally NMVS alerts, but we can also do this through email and phone calls as well, just to try and get alerts closed in a timely manner. So if you go on to the next slide there, Nicola, um, we'll just give you a quick reminder on what it looks like, how we start off the process. When you're doing your scanning, you're going to get amber and red responses sometimes. Hopefully, most of them will be green, but sometimes you will get an amber or a red one. And some of the red ones will have the text, "An alert has been raised," included in the event message that comes up on the screen. If you've got a red message with "An alert has been raised," then you're going to have a link to an alert help page. You're also going to get an email from NMVS Alerts probably a few minutes later. They get run in batches every 5 minutes, so you only need to wait a few minutes to get one of those. And ideally, you'll see it on the screen as soon as you scan. Now, best practice is to be scanning with the screen right in front of you, but we know that doesn't happen all the time. But ideally, the first notification that you would get is when it comes up as a little red response on your FMD software. Um, so if we go on to the next slide there, Nicola. Um, After you've been notified by your FMD software that there was an alert, and you can jump into your alert investigation straight away from seeing the red response. For the vast majority of them, you'll know exactly what the cause of it, whether it's scanning a ULM and realizing after that was a UK pack, didn't actually need the scan in the first place, or maybe it was a borrowing like Nicola was talking about before, and that kind of clicks in your brain and you go, oh, that was actually borrowed from our sister store or maybe a pharmacy down the road. They must have scanned it before they actually sent it over to us. So a lot of the times, even as soon as the alert's raised, you actually know what the root cause is. We can do all of this assessment, all of the investigation and the recording straight away. And that's how we have it kind of broken up for NMVS alerts. And that's in our guide, which we have online. So if we go on to the next slide there, Nicola, we're going to talk about the kind of access part of it. So it's access, investigate, and record. The way you access your alerts in NMVS alerts is there's kind of a two-pronged approach. There's two different ways of doing it. One of which is a little bit more powerful, a little bit easier for you guys, but it takes a bit of setting up. Everybody at the start of using NMVS alerts, we onboarded all of the email addresses we had for pharmacies and hospital pharmacies and wholesalers and manufacturers. But today we're talking about the pharmacies and the hospital pharmacies. We onboarded the email address we had for you, and that let you get the one-time use emails. So you'll probably have seen these before. You get them. They come from alert.support at info.ie. That's one of the email addresses you can send on emails to us if you have any queries about your alerts. They're being automatically generated by the system, but the any replies that you send will actually come into our inbox, our alert support inbox. Um, that link that you get in it, so you'll have the email with the blue text, which is the comment that we've put in. Now, a lot of the times, and especially when the alert is first generated, that comment is one of the automatic ones. So most of them are just going to ask you to investigate the alert and to get in contact with us if you need any assistance on it, because myself and Nicola haven't been able to go in and put in a bespoke comment just yet. Later on in the procedure, kind of as the time goes on and we start investigating these alerts, or if we've been asked to investigate them, then that blue text will change and you'll get something that's a little bit more relevant to that specific situation. Once myself and Nicola have a chance to look at the alert and type in a comment, kind of usually giving a proposed alert root cause, but we'll definitely still need confirmation from you guys if we don't have a guaranteed root cause, whether that be a ULM that we already know about or a technical issue that we've seen in the system before. Um, so these alert links will then appear down below that click here button there will bring you straight to a page in NMVS alerts that will let you interact with that alert and usually just pop in a comment and save it. And that's for the vast majority of alerts. That's all that you're going to need to do. As well as that, you'll get a few emails where we're actually just telling you that we've closed the alert. Nothing more needs to be done in that situation. So if the blue text isn't asking you to investigate the alert and it's not asking you a specific question, it's usually telling you that the alert's been closed and gives you maybe advice whether that's to give it another scan or the vast majority of the times just say it doesn't need to be scanned again. All the investigation's been done. So that's usually how those links work. And when you click into it, you'll see the same comment. If you navigate to the NMVO box, but we'll talk a little bit more about how you do that later. The other way of kind of accessing alerts, so Nicola, if we move to the next slide, is if you have a full account. So everybody there has their emails onboarded, but you haven't set up a password or anything like that. We can do that for you. Just let us know, and we can set you up with an account where you'll be able to log in. You'll see all of the alerts. So instead of having to find which email corresponds to which alert that you're trying to investigate, you'll have everything there in a list. And and again with the emails, they're one-time use. If you log in, you can go in and out as many times as you want to be able to see the all of the investigation that's happened on an alert. So we definitely highly recommend setting up an account in NMVS alerts, especially seeing as it's not one of those ones where you'll have to change your password every single time that you go into it or anything like that. It's kind of a one and done, and just save it in a Google account or anything like that. You'll be able to easily sign in and see all of the alerts that you need to investigate. So if we move on to the next one, we're going to be talking a little bit more about investigation. So when you click into an alert, whether that's through the email that you get sent or by logging in, checking your alert list and clicking on one of the alerts in a list, you're going to be brought to this screen. So it is a bit of an information dump. It can be a bit overwhelming with the amount of stuff there, but all of the information about that alert is included in this page. So on the left-hand side, you have the alert details. Most of those things won't be necessarily relevant to yourselves. We won't ask you to be kind of looking through the business processes and trying to figure out exactly what went on in the system. But you will sometimes see the serial number might come up in red if it's not what the system kind of expected. Same with the batch number. And in those situations, you might have a look at the pack, see, oh, that's not actually what's printed on the pack. Maybe the software didn't really actually pick up what it was supposed to, or perhaps in a lot of cases, caps lock was on, so you're seeing lowercase letters instead of uppercase ones, stuff like that. And as well as that, it'll have stuff like the error message, and sometimes it'll have kind of some event details that will tell you that this pack was previously decommissioned somewhere else or previously decommissioned at your location, so it might be able to help you investigate there. Then on the right-hand side, we have the investigation field. So because you're logging in or accessing the alert as an end user, so as a pharmacy user or a hospital pharmacy user, that's going to be the one that kind of is up first. When I log in as an NMVO, the NMVO box there at the bottom will be the one that's kind of expanded and shown for me. But your one will always be on top and kind of open for you. Um, we'll talk a little bit more about what's going to be what you can use those fields for and what sort of recording we would ask of you. But for now, the I guess if we were to only have one sentence that we could talk to you guys about how you investigate alerts, it's please just pop in a comment in that comment box towards the bottom, click save, and that's your job done. Especially if you have the root cause and you're able to say this is what happened, and then click save. That'll be all you'll need to do. You'll see a little bit below the end user investigation field. You've got an MAH or manufacturer one and an NMVO one. There's usually not a huge amount of detail that you'll need to look through for these unless it gets to be kind of a little bit more complicated, and in which case we'll probably be contacting you specifically for those ones. The main thing that you want to look at for those is that kind of little status there on the right hand side. For this example alert, they're both open, but if the NMVO one actually said closed or the MAH one said closed, then you can treat that alert as already been closed by the manufacturer or the NMVO, and actually there's no further investigation needed on your side if we've already closed out the alert. If you click on the little expand icon, you'll be able to see a comment, certainly from us in the NMVO section. If we've closed off something, we'll tell you in the comment section why we've closed it off, why we felt that alert doesn't need any further investigation. And Nicola, if you just click onto the next slide there, we'll see kind of what type of statuses you can see in there. So like I said, that closed one, the third one down, that's the one where if you look at it, you can see there's no investigation further needed for yourselves. And then we also have a few under investigation and MAH investigated can be used by either us or yourselves or the manufacturer just to say that there's an investigation ongoing, so you know that someone else is kind of looking into this alert. And then of course open there at the top is before anybody's actually done any investigation on it. So if we move on to the next slide there, Nicola, you can see here, so I've just pulled out a few of the parts of the investigation field. These are things that you can interact with on the actual alert page when you're doing your investigation, when you're recording things. So the first one up there is the status change. You can change it to investigated. So pretty much if you've done anything on the alert, any investigation at all, feel free to click investigated. There's that comment box below it. The most important part by far, just popping in, it's a free text box. You don't need to be writing essays or anything like that. Just a quick sentence or two about what investigation you've done, especially if you found the root cause. And if you haven't found the root cause, a quick question saying, this is what we've done. We don't know exactly what the root cause is yet. Could you please look into this for us? As well as that, there's the Inform NMVO checkbox. If you check it, it'll send an email to myself, Nicola, and let us know that a change has been made to it. But we can also find that whether you check that box or not, as soon as you click save, it'll kind of go in as an updated alert, and we'll be able to have a look at them. So don't feel obliged to click that box. The only thing is really the comment section that's important, and then clicking save. So if we move on to the next one, we can see a few checkboxes at the top that kind of categorizes the different ones and the investigation status. So saying whether or not it's a root cause is on my side, the root cause is on maybe the side of the system, the MVO, or the manufacturer, and then investigation pending where we don't know that just yet. Both of these are kind of good to have, and we don't currently use them too much on Invo's side. This NMVS alerts as a system in general is used by all of the markets, or can be used by all of the markets. It's in use by lots and lots of different countries in Europe, but as such, it's not bespoke for the Irish kind of FMD side of things. It's something that's used by a lot of other countries as well, and they may use these options. But currently, we're just asking for you to use the comment section. But these are nice to have, and feel free to fill them out. If we move on to the next one there, the most important button of all, make sure you click save. If you don't click save and you navigate away from the page, the changes won't actually be recorded. So even if you put in a comment telling us exactly what what happened, and why the alert can be closed. If you navigate away without clicking save, for us it'll look like nothing's been done on the alert. And as well as that, the paperclip icon just there to the left, everybody kind of knows that this what a paperclip icon will do. It's for adding attachments. If you want to put in a photo or a PDF or anything like that that's going to supplement the investigation, that's the way that you're going to do it. A dialog a pop-up will come up as normal, just your kind of typical file explorer, and you'll be able to add in whatever file you want to the alert, and we'll be able to see that as well. So that'll be that can always be very useful, especially pack photos can be very, very useful for investigating alerts, especially the ones that maybe be a little bit more complicated. So you'll see manufacturers requesting these photos every once in a while. Another thing that I forgot to mention actually on the comment one is you can put in comments, and although we'll be able to see the comments and the NMVO will be able to see that it's yourselves putting in those comments, like which pharmacy it's coming from, the manufacturer doesn't get to see that. So it's masked from the manufacturers. You guys have on anonymity vis-a-vis manufacturers accessing the system. So try not to put in any identifying information. So if you say that you realize that this alert was raised due to us borrowing from a pharmacy down the road, you can just say it's a pharmacy that's kind of in the locality or nearby. You don't need to give the name of the pharmacy. And then if we move on to the next one there, Nicola. Now we're going to go into the support available from Invo. So that's everything to do with kind of using NMVS alerts, but that's very much so whistle stop tour. Like I said, there's a guide on our website for using NMVS alerts, and myself and Nicola are always available to help you go through how to use NMVS alerts and how to and we can kind of set up a call with you guys. We can do it over email if you have any specific questions, anything like that. We're really, really eager to help people use NMVS alerts properly, and it is kind of like a one and done. Once you learn how to use NMVS alerts, once not much changes about it, you'll be able to hopefully use it. And because especially we know that a lot of the alert investigations in an ideal world, you're not going to be doing them kind of day in, day out. Once we get to the stage where you're only using it maybe once in a blue moon, it'd be great to not have to, I guess, recall how to use it each time, especially if you build it into stuff like your SOPs. So what support's available from Invo? We have our service desk that's open in those opening hours. So 8 to 8 on weekdays, Saturdays 9 to 6, and then Sundays 11 to 6, and same for public holidays. So if you get us during the kind of normal working hours for Invo, they'll be able to patch you through to either myself, Nicola, or for other kind of registration queries and other queries with regards to your accounts within the NMVS or within the IMVS. You might get through to Sarah as well. But we're very, very happy to take calls from anybody. We can usually resolve things a lot quicker than just kind of poring over an alert, certainly. So if you have any questions about an alert, or if the investigation's kind of going nowhere on your end, but you need to get that pack out quickly, give us a call. Definitely, we'll be able to resolve it nice and quickly, or we'll start the investigation for you if we need maybe further information from the likes of a wholesaler or a manufacturer. You can also, for less urgent stuff, give us an email at alert.support@invo.ie, and we'll pick that up within our ticketing system. We'll be able to hop on those and give you any feedback that you need for any alerts or general FMD queries. Those can go to info@invo.ie, or feel free to send them to alert.support. If we go to the next slide there, you'll see we also have a lot of resources available on our website. We've got our FAQs. We have a YouTube channel with plenty and plenty of guide videos or old webinars that we've done. As well as that, you can check the IMVS status. So if you think that an alert was raised because there's something going wrong with the system or the system is down, there's actually a website that will be able to tell you that. That's also linked on our own Invo website. And like I said before, we can set up support sessions. We can tailor them to you, whether they're on phone, Zoom, Teams, and however long you want them to be, whatever topics you want them to be on. Myself, Nicola, we're always happy to kind of have a little chat with your team about any FMD questions you might have. So then if we go on to the next slide, there's I think a little bit more on kind of some external resources. So there's our socials, but then also some links to the PSI and HRA websites. whether it's documents regarding FMD or the Windsor framework, and a few emails that if you need to get in contact with them. We also have that European Commission Q&A on the safety features. That's a kind of large Q&A on all of the safety features that was released very early in the cycle, that gives you a very comprehensive bit of information on kind of how this is all set up. And then I think the next slide should be just the Q&A. So that's everything really. Thanks for your attention there, guys, and I'll pass back over to Colin just for the kind of sum up and Q&A.
Thanks a million, Paul and Nicola, and thank you all again for your